This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to The Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I'm one of your hosts, Tom.
And I'm Tim.
Tim, how are you doing this week?
Tom, I'm bracing myself because this is a very important episode.
Why is it important?
This is our most requested topic of all time.
Is it really? Our most requested topic of all time?
Yeah, and it falls right in our string of episodes about English musicians.
Yeah. Well, right in our, 2-episode string?
Yeah, who knows how long this string will go.
Yeah.
You'll have to keep listening
after week. Do you mean streak, not string?
Did you say string?
No, you said string, and I said string.
String of episodes.
Streak.
I mean,
you don't know how long a streak's going to go.
That's true, but you don't know how long a string is, especially if it's...
No, you do. You can see it.
No, let's say it's the Amazing Jonathan, right? You don't know if the string is palmed in his hand.
Right.
If he's going to cut it in half and then he's going to tie it and then magically the knot goes away and it's the two pieces become one again.
Or if it's a string tied to
a string of episodes is a thing, Tom.
A string tied to a branch that's holding a box up and then leading behind a tree.
Yeah. I got to get what's in that box, though.
Yeah. Who knows how long that string goes?
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll dive right in there and get that.
It seems like it just goes off into the horizon.
Yeah. So you don't know how long a string is either, Tom. Anyway, who knows? But this week, it's Radiohead week.
Yeah.
On the Complete Guide to Everything.
Are you going to do this show like a 90s rock jock? Rock jock, right? That's what you would call
Shock jock.
No, but who plays rock? That's a rock jock.
That's just a DJ.
Oh, okay.
Tom. Mm-hmm. When Radiohead's first album came out, Pablo Honey, Capitol Records had a tough time getting kids to buy it.
Did somebody at Capitol Records say they didn't hear a single?
No, it wasn't that.
Was it an A&R man?
Man, these record companies, man, they're so cool. Guess what the ad that they put out for this was? They're like, well, how do we get people to buy the Radiohead record? They probably put this print ad in Rolling Stone. And
nobody knows this band. They're an English band.
And the copy was, Radiohead, better than Butthead. Oxford, England's rowdiest new band. Ha ha ha. Music that doesn't suck. Featuring self-loathing anthem, Creep.
Yeah,
the ha-ha-ha was Butthead's signature.
Yeah. I would buy based on that.
Yeah, better than Butthead.
Yeah.
And Butthead makes me laugh on television week after week.
And albums back then were only like $20, so yeah, why not roll the dice and see if it's an album you'd like?
Yeah, and it was the 90s, so it's like, hey, freaking self-loathing.
Yeah.
Count me in.
Yeah. Oh, an English self-loathing? Even better.
What could be better?
Yeah.
Seeing some whiny Brit.
Well, you wouldn't see him.
Yeah,
it's
listening to him. Yeah.
Are
later on, we'd see him being pushed around in a shopping cart.
That's true. Were there any pictures in the Pablo Honey booklet?
I don't know, Tom.
Pictures of the boys?
Can I have a confession?
Yeah.
Time corner?
Yes.
I'm kidding.
What's going on?
I don't know what's going on. It's been a medical emergency.
Sounds like your batteries are running out.
Can I make a confession?
Yeah.
I've never heard the album Pablo Honey.
What?
Yeah.
How have you never heard it?
I don't know. Radiohead's been one of my favorite bands for nigh on 30 years. Yeah. Almost 30 years.
You've heard songs from it.
I've heard the song Creep. It's a self-loathing anthem.
Uh-huh.
I've heard maybe the song You. Is that a song? The first track?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard the first track. And it's like, I don't care for this.
Thinking About You. Anyone Can Play Guitar?
I've never heard Anyone Can Play Guitar. I saw it on a jukebox a lot when I was younger. But I never had the temerity to put my coins in and put my money where my mouth was.
That's an expensive way to hear a song for the first time, too.
Yeah, exactly.
What if you don't like it?
Yeah. But what if I do like it? Then it's all night shoveling quarters in there.
Right. Or like, great. I could have just bought. Now I'll never buy the album because I've already got sunk costs into this jukebox. I'm not going to pay twice to listen to this song.
I think if you put enough money into the jukebox, you should be able to take the jukebox home at the end of the night.
I mean, yeah, probably if you put enough money in, you probably can't put as much money as a jukebox is worth into a jukebox.
Not in one night.
Right.
Depends on how much, though. What if it's like $10,000 a song?
Well, do you have any? Can you cite any examples of a jukebox that costs that much?
I don't know. How many jukeboxes have you gone and inspected how much they cost?
I mean, yeah, anyone that I've used,
anyone that you've used, but you hang out in some pretty seedy places, Tom.
Yeah, the last places that would have $10,000 jukeboxes.
I know.
You're talking about like a country club jukebox.
Yeah, that's where I find myself most of the time, Tom.
Yeah.
That's why I couldn't listen to anybody can play guitar.
That's why they wouldn't be caught dead letting a guy like the Fonz in there because he'd run up the bill, no money required.
Yeah, the country club would be like, we're ruined.
Right.
This man's playing all of our favorite 50s hits for free.
Yeah.
Normally we're making what, like $300,000 an hour.
So why now? You said this is one of our most requested the most requested topic of all time.
By far.
Why now, Tim? Why is now the time?
Because scoundrels got out there today, Tom.
What scoundrels got out there today?
Tom.
I regret to inform you, the band Radiohead has been kidnapped.
This is a fundraiser for their ransom.
Yeah.
You know what? If Radiohead got kidnapped...
Mm-hmm.
And their families were like, "Oh, we don't have their banking information." I think I'd like to think that we'd all band together and pony up that ransom.
I mean, surely, like they have accountants and stuff that have, if Radiohead has in their contracts or whatever,
guess what,
like
Tom?
we'll pay ransoms if we get kidnapped.
Guess what, Tom?
What?
The accountants were kidnapped too.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the accountants were in on it.
Ooh, well, that's what we find out later.
Right. Well, then they could have just taken
that's
the
the
money.
Third act twist. You blew it. Turns out the accountants were working with the captors the whole time.
Yeah, they should have realized.
So what they were
going to
do, they were
going to
get us
visors.
Dopes to crowdfund their release.
Yeah.
And guess what? They get that money from us, and then they get all Radiohead's money too, because the accountants had already liquidated those accounts.
And
they did it to cover their own tracks.
What?
Well played, Radiohead's accountants.
I mean, it's a little far-fetched, but who knows? Who knows what kind of accountants they got? Yeah. Nobody knows. You always hear about these celebrities. They're like, "Oh, I thought I didn't make," like super famous people, and they're like, "I don't know. My accountant was telling me for years, like, nah, you're losing money," and then it turned out they were stealing all the money.
Yeah, I think if you can cheat a superstar out of their money, you should just get that money. Because that's such an easy thing that a superstar can be like, I'm just gonna go in, just keep a large room full of gold coins, and every day just swim around in that for a few minutes.
It would be that's easy for you to say now, Tim. But if Billy Joel was sitting next to you, you wouldn't have the guts to say that to his face.
You know what? I think. If Billy Joel, if I was granted an audience with Billy Joel,
mm-hmm.
I wouldn't feel nervous at all. I feel like I could say anything to that guy and he'd be fine with it. He knows salt of the earth, blue collar, Long Island Joes. He knows what I'm all about. I know what he's all about. There's no pretense there. I'd be like, hey Billy, cut the shit, and he'd be like, I like you, I respect you.
Do you think Tom York would have a similar response?
Tom York?
He'd say, excuse me, I have to use the toilet. And then he'd climb out the window while he was in there.
Tom York would?
Yeah.
Why?
Just to get away from you.
Yeah, Tom York would not enjoy an audience with me.
No.
I'd be nervous around him, Tom. I would be shaking in my boots. Why are we doing this episode now?
Do you think you'd feel better if you had Billy Joel with you?
Yeah. Yeah. But that would spook Tom York a little bit.
Tom York would get real spooked by Billy Joel.
He's brought Billy Joel with him.
He's brought the piano man with him, he is.
We're doing it because Scoundrels leaked, what was it, 18 hours?
Somewhere 17 or 18 hours.
17 hours of, what do we call this? They're calling it the
Computer Sessions.
Right. So Radiohead's a band.
Right. If you've listened this far and you're not sure what we're talking about, Radiohead's a band.
People are like, are they talking about that Talking Heads song that's not that good?
Yeah, Radiohead's a band. It's a group of boys. They each play a different instrument, but they can most of them can play a few instruments. So, don't pigeonhole any of them.
Stop pigeonholing Phil Selway.
Yeah,
and Ed O'Brien.
You think Phil Selway can't pick up a guitar and play a few chords?
Guess what? He sold more records than any of you guys playing guitar.
Yeah, I mean,
or
not
piano.
by himself.
What does he play? He plays like crooner stuff on piano and stuff.
Does
right?
he?
Yeah, he's got this other band.
Oh, I don't think I knew that.
Yeah,
I did know
the drummer
that.
for Radiohead.
Yeah.
Phil Selway.
Yeah.
He sings songs like, "And the world is all singing together."
So Scoundrels leaked these. They're saying it's the OK Computer Sessions. So it's basically like the raw sessions from when Radiohead was recording their seminal album, OK Computer.
Their 1997 release with the self-loathing anthem "Karma Police"
and more.
Yeah,
there's quite a few self-loathing anthems on there. That's but it's a real tongue twister.
Yeah, those wordsmiths at Capitol Records marketing really knew what they were doing.
Well, that's why they put it in print.
Yeah,
not radio ads.
Yeah. Radio ad is what people call them in England. Have you heard radio ad?
Yeah. Oh, they call the band Radiohead radio ad.
Yeah.
I see.
I'm listening to the new radio ad.
Hi, what's it for?
Tom, Radiohead are an English rock band formed in Abingdon on Thames. Thames? Thames. The Thames in 1985. Man, we're going to get so many fucking emails this week. Let's start over. The band consists of Tom York.
Uh-huh.
He sings. He plays the guitar, piano, and keyboards, and I'd say some other things sometimes.
Shaker.
Sometimes he plays that little drum kit.
Oh, yeah.
These two brothers, Johnny Greenwood and Colin Greenwood. Johnny Greenwood plays the lead guitar, keyboards. He plays this weird Moog synthesizer thing.
I think he plays like one of those old like operator switchboards sometimes.
Yeah, he's plugging things.
He's like connecting your call, sir.
He sometimes just has an old radio that he holds up to a
actually
microphone and
true.
just goes like and samples that.
And
then
says,
his brother,
"Oi, look at me, I'm all Radiohead."
Yeah, and then his brother Colin plays bass.
Boom, 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 ba-doom, boom, ba-doom, boom.
Colin, I don't think plays anything else.
I'm sure if you put a guitar in his hand.
He plays that synth bass thing that they put in front of him sometimes. I feel like Colin, you have to put something in front of him. He's not gonna walk across the stage.
No, and you have to put something in front of him, or else he'll wander off the stage.
Yeah,
if he's got nothing to do up there.
Ed O'Brien, which is this guy,
the people's champion.
He's got the cleanest hair in the band.
Absolutely.
Right?
Always has, always will.
Johnny Greenwood might have more luscious locks, but they're all greasy.
Yeah.
Ed O'Brien, he conditions his hair.
Yeah, I was going to say he looks like a Head and Shoulders man.
And then Phil Selway on drums, he's just another
He
regular
doesn't have
old
any
baldy.
hair at all.
And
that was due to a prank early in their career where they replaced his Head and Shoulders with Nair.
Yeah.
And
then never grew back.
Yeah.
He was steamed.
Yeah.
His head turned all red on top. That's how angry he was. Tom, there are three people that you can consider the sixth member of Radiohead.
But not all of them. Only one of them can be the sixth
At
member.
any one time.
Right.
It depends on the context.
It depends. Oh, I thought you were saying it depends on the contest. Like there's who wants to be in Radiohead.
Their longtime producer Nigel Godrich.
Yeah.
Is the fastest one. So if you were running a race, he would be, and the winner of the race got to be the sixth member of Radiohead.
Right.
He'd
but
do
well, they did do it and he thought he won, but they were like, no, that's just the first of many trials.
Right. Stanley Donwood is this guy who makes their art and stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Their doodles.
Covers. Yeah. Which, look, it's fine. And he and Tom York cut up magazines and they're like, we're sad.
Yeah, well, joke's on them because then, somebody got the same idea when they were holding them ransom. We'll cut up a magazine, send this to all the papers.
Maybe Stanley Donwood was a part of this. We'll solve this yet, Tom.
Yeah.
And then the third guy who is actually a sixth member, but sometimes, not all the time, this guy, Clive Deemer.
Who's that?
This other bald guy that plays drums along with them.
Oh, so they're like, no, it'll be too confusing for everybody.
Yeah, well, people will associate bald with drums.
Right. Hurts a lot of other drummers.
Yeah.
We don't want our audience, sitting at a concert, and the whole time we've got to play over a chorus of dummies saying, "I'm seeing double."
Right. Well, it's fine.
They play pretty loud instruments, so
yeah, they got amplifiers. Sometimes when it's not loud enough, Johnny Greenwood will go like this.
And that means turn it up?
No, that's what he does just to make it louder.
Oh.
You ever hear the song Creep?
Yeah. I mean, he does it during a part in Creep. He doesn't do it during other songs.
He's like, man, it's too quiet in here. I can hear all these dummies talking about how they're seeing double.
Oh, I'm seeing double.
Shut up.
Shut up. Pay attention.
Tom,
I told you we gotta get rid of this other cue ball.
So they had this album that nobody really listened to except for the song Creep, Pablo Honey. And then they made some other records. But OK Computer was the one that really catapulted them into superstardom, Tom.
Yes, yeah.
It went diamond, I think.
Maybe.
I think by this point it's diamond. It sold something like 10 billion copies, I think.
I think it was 10 billion copies.
I think it was.
But it was in the millions.
Yeah.
Critically acclaimed. Lots of singles.
I would say it's the reason they got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
And then some scoundrel was like, oh, I'm going to leak all these things. 17 hours, 16, 18, some amount of hours, which, Tom, OK Computer is like, what, the best album ever? One of them?
Yeah, it's certainly of like the 90s, absolutely.
Yeah. It's top 5 90s record.
Oh, easily.
I heard about this and I was like, oh,
I
would listen to this. Like,
I missed that in the 90s. I should check that out.
I'm going to go to the dark web, not the intellectual dark web, Tom.
Right,
I'm too afraid to go there. I'm
dummy
too afraid to
dark web.
debate people.
Right.
So I went to the dummy dark web and I was like, let me look for this.
Uh-huh.
And put on a pot of coffee because I'm not going to sleep for the next 18 hours.
Right.
And I had already...
Until I've cracked this
Tom,
case.
I had already been up for 12 hours.
Oh, wow.
So we're looking at 30 hours.
Why were you up for those first 12 hours?
Just doing my normal calisthenics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do 12 hours on every other day. Just exercises.
That must be not even early in the morning. That must start late the night before.
No,
Not
it starts
even
early
late.
in the morning. I just clear my day.
Oh, okay.
Like 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Then I watch Jeopardy. And on those days, sometimes I get right back into bed and read a biography of great Americans.
You pluralized that.
Yeah. Because I read many biographies about many great Americans.
Wow, that's inspiring.
It's how I know how to be a great American.
Huh.
And Tom, I'm proud to be an American, or at least I know I'm free.
Wow.
Those lyrics written by Tom York himself.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you ghost wrote a lot of stuff, I guess.
No, they said that's a Radiohead song.
Huh.
God bless the
And nobody's
USA.
called them out for that?
What do you
He's not
mean?
even American.
I mean, hey, fake it till you make it, right? Everybody's like, well, one day.
Right. One day he'll come to America and see what our what these hamburgers are all about.
Yeah, all of this is Tom York. He's just like, I want to eat a hamburger, and I want to see what America's like.
Yeah. He's not a vegan by choice.
Is he a vegan?
He's vegetarian. I think he's vegan.
He seems like he would be a vegan. Yeah. I don't know. He's kind of got a cool attitude these days.
He does. He's mellowed out a
Not
little
that
bit.
vegans don't have cool attitudes.
Right.
I mean, some do, some don't. Same as anybody.
Right.
Look, I'm already gonna get hate mail for saying Thames wrong.
Yeah. There right now some English persons just some English vegans just crumpled up the letter they were writing to you and like, no, I gotta start. Now he's going after vegans too.
Yeah, I'm not coming after vegans, Tom.
Yeah, you're a vegetarian. You're on.
I'm on your side, guys.
Yeah, I mean, they would say you're not. They would say you're a coward, but
I am a bit of a coward.
yeah, but
for like a lot of different reasons.
Right.
Not just because I like eating cheese.
What were you saying about? How do we get on this? Yeah. So you heard that these leaked,
right? And then,
but you couldn't find them on the dummy dark web.
Yeah, because I don't know how to find things.
Apple F.
Yeah, I tried that.
Okay. Depends on which web page you're on. You can't just do it anywhere.
I went to google.com, did Apple F Radiohead OK Computer session files.
And
.com.
And what happened?
Nothing.
Yeah. No, you got to put it in a different box there.
Yeah. You know what happened?
What?
My screen filled up with like hundreds and hundreds of smiley faces. And then it went, "You lose, sucker." And then the Joker's face came up.
Wow.
Yeah, but it was all pixelated and stuff.
I don't think you should do that, the 12 hours of calisthenics, Tim. I think it might be too much.
What do you mean?
I mean, it just seems like it might be stressing you out. It might be causing
I've never been more
issues in your
I've never been more relaxed.
in the rest of your life. So you couldn't find it on the dummy dark web. You couldn't find it by doing Apple F on Google.com.
Yeah.
So what did you do next?
Nothing.
No, you turned to me.
Oh, yeah, I asked you.
Yeah, the nothing. You turned to me and I found it.
Yeah. And you found it, and I started listening to it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't have time for this. If I was 15, as I was when OK Computer came out, or even
16,
17, I would say up until the year 2003.
Okay.
I would have devoured this thing like it was a big roast beef sandwich, and I was
to be
Dagwood.
very established moments ago that you're vegetarian.
Yeah, but Dagwood Bumstead isn't.
Oh, okay. So if you had embodied the fictional character Dagwood from comic strips who likes sandwiches.
Yeah, and especially something all-American like roast beef. I read a biography about Dagwood Bumstead, Tom.
Oh, and that's why you're trying to drop it in here?
Yeah.
So you
roast beef was his favorite.
So you sound well-read.
Yeah. Tom, this was just like...
Was it a biography or was it a collection of Blondie comic strips?
I would argue that told the story of Dagwood Bumstead's life.
Because last week you told me you read a biography about Blondie, and I thought, oh, he read a book about the band.
Yeah, no.
And then you showed it to me,
I don't know
and it was just a collection
led you to that
of comic strips.
Conclusion, but no, I read a compendium of vignettes that made up a man's entire adult life.
Yeah.
I learned a lot about him, Tom.
Sounds like you only learned that he likes roast beef sandwiches. I don't think that's even true.
What do you mean?
He eats any sandwich. I don't think he's particular.
Yeah, he'll eat any. Tom, you eat a lot of things, but you have a favorite thing to eat, right?
Yeah. I think Dagwood's favorite thing to eat was a sandwich with as many ingredients as possible on it.
Yes, but he especially liked it when one of those ingredients was roast beef.
I don't even know how he could tell the way he would build some of these sandwiches. They were so tall.
Yeah, I know. He had a very sophisticated palate, though. He could pick out anything. That was one of the things. He was blindfolded one time, and he knew exactly all the ingredients.
I'm going to open up a restaurant in New York City.
Okay.
Going to get a Michelin
Good
star.
luck.
It's just going to be a deli counter. But that's going to be the whole meal, and I'm going to say it's a deconstructed Dagwood sandwich.
So what is it?
It's just an entire deli counter.
Why would that get you a Michelin star?
Because they'd be like, wow, people foodies like deconstructed food. You know what deconstructed food is?
What's deconstructed?
It's when you like break things down into their individual ingredients.
Right. So you think just having like boar's head?
Yeah, just like all the
ham
cold cuts out. It'd be like it's a
in a platter?
No, it'd be like a deli counter.
So just be a normal deli counter.
Yeah, except there'd be chairs you could pull up to the deli counter.
But the deli counter would be too high for chairs.
Yeah, I'd get a high chair. No, I'd probably just get some phone books to sit on.
So just some normal chairs
Yeah.
stacked with like 6 or 7 phone books.
They're not that high.
Tom.
You're thinking of a pharmacist counter.
Tom, who worked in a butcher shop?
That was
Me
a
or
long
you?
time ago. You were shorter then. You were but a boy. Your memories are distorted.
I don't know, Tom. And I don't think you've seen how thin the yellow pages are these days.
Oh, I can imagine with everything going on.
Well, with the internet and that intellectual dark web.
Yeah, who needs the yellow pages? So I found.
I don't have time to listen to all these demos.
Yeah.
It sounds like a band rehearsing.
Right.
I've been in bands for a long time. I know what that sounds like. Give me the finished record, guys.
Well, they did that. They did that over 20 years ago.
Yeah,
they gave
I know.
everybody the finished record.
So I'm sorry.
So are you mad?
I'm not mad. I don't see.
You're mad at the band for something that was stolen from them
Yeah.
and illegally leaked online.
Well, hey guys, lock that stuff up.
Yeah.
Because then you wasted about 20 minutes of my time today.
Well,
As I was skipping through, and I was like, okay, a rehearsal version of Paranoid Android where like they're not playing very tightly. Cool.
No.
You know where I could hear that? Like any band trying to play Paranoid Android.
Right. I mean, it still would be Radiohead doing it.
But if it's Radiohead doing it badly, have you ever seen Radiohead on an off night?
No. Oh, yeah, I've seen like YouTube videos and stuff where like they have to like keep restarting songs and things like that,
Yeah.
which I actually like. I think that's very charming.
Yeah.
When they're like,
Especially
nah,
then, they're so
fuck.
precise.
Yeah. And apparently the backstory of this leak is that they put out like an OK Computer 20th anniversary thing a couple of years ago.
Yeah, you know what? I feel bad that I was the recipient, that you forced this leak onto me.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to go to
Oh,
the
it wasn't a
record
leak.
store.
I had this from the band.
Oh. Are you the unofficial 6th member?
I'm in the running.
Oh. What's your special skill?
Grouting tiles.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Never known you to do that.
I'm not very good at it, but nobody
You're
else in the
better
band
than
does
Stanley
it. Yeah.
Donwood. Yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, he's not the best artist in the world, but he's the best artist that Radiohead knows.
Oh, don't let Tom York hear you say that.
You would say he's the best artist I know.
He is.
He is, isn't he?
Tom,
Yeah.
I'm going to go buy out of guilt that the deluxe edition vinyl of the OK Computer officially released thing. They still have one at Rough Trade. It's $300.
You could just delete the files.
I already did delete the files, Tom.
Yeah, well, it's not going to save you from jail time.
What?
No. Those were fingerprinted.
With my fingerprints?
Yeah, and the band's.
Wow.
I mean, the band's fingerprints are all over it.
This week's episode of The Complete Guide to Everything is sponsored by OpenFit. Tom,
Uh-huh.
getting fit and staying healthy always sounds easier said than done, right?
I'm always telling that to pencil necks.
Yeah. Well, OpenFit is bringing you something new that makes it even easier to never miss a sweat session, Tom. A sweat session.
That a workout.
Yeah. Look, you lose the commute to the gym
Right.
and let the workouts come to you, to your home, wherever you are.
How on earth would I do that?
Tom, OpenFit takes all of the complexity out of losing weight and getting fit. It's a brand new, super simple streaming service that allows you to work out from the comfort of your living room in as little as 10 minutes a day.
Well, surely even I could find time to fit that in.
10 minutes in your living room, Tom.
Yeah.
It couldn't be simpler. Everyone's bodies are different, and OpenFit gets that, which is why it's personalized to your needs. with custom tailored original content. They have amazing trainers and classes. Their classes are led by some of the most effective and engaging trainers in the world. You can sculpt your body with Andrea Rogers, Tom. Do you know who that is? She's the founder of the worldwide sensation Extend Bar.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, and then you cut me off.
Or you could get in crazy good shape with Hunter McIntyre. I'll stop you right there. Hunter McIntyre was named by Sports Illustrated as one of the top 50 fittest athletes.
Huh.
These trainers know how to get you results quick. It's super simple. You can forget all the complexity and stress around getting fit and just press play and work out on your schedule. But, Tom, I put this thing on my Roku.
Huh.
You know I love Roku, and you know I love streaming apps.
Right, you hate downloads.
Signed up for this Open Fit. They got this yoga class.
Uh-huh.
There's this yoga studio in my very own neighborhood, Tom.
Okay.
It takes about, I'd say, 7 minutes to walk there.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, this is when the class is at 6 p.m.
Hope
like,
that fits your schedule.
Yeah, and guess what? 9 times out of 10, it doesn't fit my dang schedule.
Yeah.
And then add to it, my wife also likes to go to yoga. So guess what we do? We moved the coffee table a little bit. Do yoga in our own living room, watching these beefcakes on the screen.
And your marriage is stronger than ever.
Yeah, look, OpenFit has changed the way I work out, and with our code GUIDE, you can join me on a fitness journey personalized just for you. Again, use my code GUIDE and start using OpenFit for your journey to a healthier life. Right now, during the OpenFit 30-day challenge, our listeners get a special extended 30-day free trial membership to OpenFit, where you can lose up to 15 pounds in 30 days when you text GUIDE to 303030. Just kidding. 303030, right?
Oh, okay.
You'll get full access to OpenFit, all the workouts and nutrition information, totally free. Again, just text GUIDE to 303030. Standard message and data rates may apply. All right, Tom, a lot of people don't know this, but the only reason this award-winning podcast even exists...
This podcast has never won an award. We were nominated for something like 9 years ago.
Yeah.
And we didn't
We might
win
have
it.
won, though. We didn't go that night.
No.
Because I put on my tux, and I was like, it doesn't fit me right.
There wasn't a thing. It was like one of those fake things where it's like, you're nominated for an award.
Give us $75.
No, it was just like, get all your fans to vote for us. And I was like, oh, no, nobody knows what this is. They just want us to get our fans to vote so that other people hear about it.
Sign up for...
Right, yeah. Sign up for an account and vote.
Yeah.
No way. We wouldn't subject you guys to... I mean, that's the kind of shit maybe Radiohead would pull.
Yeah.
That's
how they originally got big.
Yeah, they just wanted to win a bunch of contests, and they were always telling their fans, hey, vote for us.
Go to livingsocial.com.
Yeah.
Tom?
Sign our change.org petition to get episode 8 of Star Wars rewritten and reshot.
We wouldn't have this podcast.
And when you
this
say
10-year...
we, you mean the world.
Yeah. The world would be without Complete Guide to Everything if we didn't go see Radiohead one fateful night in 2001.
Yeah, in early September of 2001.
Yeah. Maybe it was August.
Yeah. It might have been late. It might have been like August 29th, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, late August.
Yeah. No, just for some reason that date popped into my head.
You and I, not friends. Well, we were friends
We
by
were
association.
friends, right. But we weren't like hang out alone friends.
Yeah. And I don't know why we went to this concert. Everybody else had gone back to college.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. And my college started late, and you went to college in the city.
Yeah, New York City. So we went to Liberty State Park.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Radiohead play with them gleaming twin towers right in the background the whole time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
As I tell the story that happened.
Yeah.
I was very drunk, Tom.
We were both very drunk.
I was, 19? I was 19 years young at the time.
Yeah, I was 20.
So we
were not allowed to drink.
We had vodka,
by
right?
law. Yeah. We had put it in orange juice.
Yeah, we were drinking screwdrivers, like on the
Like
Jersey.
my grandma used to.
Yeah, we didn't know any better.
Yeah.
We're like, how do we get drunkest quickest? Well, let's buy vodka. And then we tasted the vodka. We're like, ugh, this tastes awful.
Yeah.
So we got orange juice.
Right.
We mixed it together. And we sat outside that concert like
before it started.
Yeah, we got there like 5 hours early.
Yeah.
And it's me and you just got wrecked on screwdrivers.
Sitting on it was lovely.
It was. We were sitting on a bench in the park.
Yeah, as like the sun was setting, it was very nice. I think that's what made us become friends.
Yeah. We really opened up to each other.
Yeah.
I don't remember a goddamn thing. And then we put the rest of our vodka into water bottles.
Yeah, or
Poland Spring
Snapple bottles or
yeah.
something that didn't look like it belonged in.
And we were walking in,
Mm-hmm.
and we were like, okay, we'll play it cool. We'll bring the rest of this vodka
Yeah,
in.
and we'll go in separately. So
Yeah, different lines. We'll go
Yeah.
through security. That way, if one of us gets this vodka confiscated, the other one will get in.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I thought it was like for stealth, but then, yeah, it was like, no, then only one of us has to make it in
Yeah.
because these are like all vodka.
Yeah, and I was hammered, Tom.
Yeah.
And I came in, and they were like, I think the security guard was like, you can't bring in that water bottle. It's not sealed. And I was like, come on. And he's like, all right, well, is it water in there? And I went, nah, it's vodka.
Yeah, and then
then he made me pour it out, and then I yelled across all the lines to you, who was also getting checked by security at the same time, and I went, Tom, it didn't work. He knew it was vodka in the water bottle.
Yeah, and I was getting mine through. The guy didn't notice, and he was like, and took it from me.
Turns out to be a blessing in disguise, because we
thank
would have
God.
died
Yeah.
if we drank any more alcohol.
Yeah, no, we were good. We didn't need that.
And then some large man just collapsed on me. Remember? We were
Yeah, that
watching
was
the
one of the
opening?
funniest things I've ever seen. It was Beta Band opening.
Yeah.
And I was
don't remember any part of their set. I don't remember any part of Radiohead's set.
And I remember like talking to you, and I turned back to you at one point. I'm like, oh, that's weird. Tim disappeared. And then I looked down, and there was a giant man on top of you.
Yeah, he had passed out from drugs, Tom.
Yeah, but like on his feet and just fell backwards, and you were squished like a bug underneath him. Like I could barely even see you. He was that big.
Yeah. It was a miracle I survived.
And then I think his friends were like mad at you.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Like I reflexively, just because I'm a coward.
Sorry.
Yeah, I got up. I was like, sorry. And they were like, man, that's fucked up. It's like, wait, what did I do?
You pulled our friend onto you.
Yeah. Great show. 10 out of 10.
I hopped the turnstile. Do you remember that?
I do.
And it started everybody hopping the turnstile.
Yeah. The cops are still after you, Tom.
And they'll
Between
never catch
that
me alive.
and bootlegging this Radiohead thing, you're the number one suspect in this Radiohead kidnapping case that they've been trying to crack.
Look, Tim, how could I have kidnapped Radiohead if I'm here recording this right now while the band is still missing?
That's fair.
No. I mean, I could have tied them up. Could have put gags in their mouths so nobody would hear them yelling and said, boys, I'll be back. I have to go record a podcast.
About you, which would be the sweetest revenge.
Right. That's what really drove them nuts. That's when they all went, with the gags in their mouths.
So Radiohead has 9 albums.
Okay. That's a lot of albums.
One nobody's ever heard.
Pablo Honey?
Pablo Honey,
People
except for
have
the
heard
song
Pablo
Creep.
Honey. It's a good album.
You know what? People say that. I mean, I guess
Yeah,
anything named
people-
for a classic Jerky Boys bit has to be.
Well, look, that's not bad. I would, if they hadn't done that, I would have liked to have named something after a classic Jerky Boys sketch.
Tom, that Jerky Boys. Everybody go right now and Google Jerky Boys Pablo Honey. It's 46 seconds.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
Yeah.
It's not funny.
It's got to be one of the worst Jerky Boys sketches.
Jerky Boys, for people not from the 90s, made crank calls and recorded them. Many of them were racist and homophobic. This one,
Yeah, like a little racist, I guess.
yeah, it's a character speaking of in some kind of accent.
Right.
But I think it's just generic foreign guy accent.
Yeah.
Foreign. Anyway, it's not funny.
Right.
And
But it was funny enough that Radiohead,
here's the elephant in the room with Radiohead.
yeah.
They're a little cheesy.
Yeah, they're a little corny.
Yeah. They like Paranoid Android, Tom, that
Yeah.
song? Ed O'Brien, you know him?
Yeah.
Band member? He
Yeah.
said, "We wanted to make a crossing of Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody and the Pixies."
Yeah.
Like,
I bet all the
cool.
other guys were
Yeah.
like, hey, shut up. That was just for in the studio we say that.
Yeah. No, we only listen to like Can and
Yeah.
Brian Eno, if anybody asks.
Yeah. God damn it, Ed. That's why we don't let you do interviews. Yeah, like if you look at their early stuff, like jokes that they were trying to make on like early albums and like interviews and stuff, they're real corny. And then you can kind of tell like you get a better idea of them when they got like real serious.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, this is like two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
Like you guys just go like all in on something, even if it's corny.
Yeah.
But-
Early
but
on,
it
their
worked.
videos were just them blowing up girls' skirts with leaf blowers.
But it worked with like, okay. I mean, Ben's into OK Computer and then Kid A for sure when they were just like, no, we're like dark now. We're like very introspective guys.
Yeah, but then like sometimes you'd see them in an interview and they'd be like, "What are the influence?" Hey, jazz. Jazz. We've been listening to lots of jazz, like Miles Davis.
Well, stuff you might not have heard of. Yeah, I was reading this anecdote about the Lion and Paranoid Android, speaking of which, kicking, screaming Gucci little piggy.
Yeah.
Reference
Tom, they hate Gucci.
Gucci Mane?
They would never cross Gucci Mane.
It was a reference to an encounter Tom York had with a woman who threw a fit after somebody spilled a drink on her in a bar. There was a look in the woman's eyes that I've never seen anywhere. He said he couldn't sleep that night because of it.
Because a woman got mad that somebody spilled her drink?
Yeah, which like is understandable if somebody spills their drink. Like we don't know the other context. It could be like, yeah, this guy who was super drunk fell into the table.
Even if this woman is in the wrong.
Yeah.
Have you ever been so scared at somebody that got angry at a bar that you couldn't sleep that night?
I don't.
Tom York, come on. Toughen up a little bit.
Yeah.
Take a joke, man. We're kidding.
Well, and same thing.
I didn't mean it.
Like I always knew he was real that he was a paranoid android himself about car crashes.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it stemmed from he and his girlfriend were in a car crash in 1987. She got whiplash, but he was unharmed. Like he was fine. So it's like, you know, you get to write one song about something that happened where you didn't get hurt.
And look,
Like, I just imagine-
whiplash is a real thing.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Like,
But she got whiplash. She didn't get like.
I'm imagining it the other way. I'm imagining for like the next, like decade, this woman was in a full body cast, and he's out there going like, "Oh, I'm really afraid of cars." It's like you were fine. I should be writing the song about cars.
Yeah, and that's why. I don't know. Tom, can I be honest with you?
Yeah, what's going on? I'm sick. I'm very sick.
No, you were talking for a minute, and I stopped listening. I was reading something else, and then I was like, "I'll jump in this with a joke," but then I realized I didn't hear what Tom said.
Yeah.
So I just said, "And that's why," and then I was expecting
A joke to pop into your head.
Yeah, but like I had no context to what you were talking about.
Yeah, it's hard to make a joke when you have zero context.
Sorry.
They have more songs about cars than any other band, even the Cars.
I don't know about that.
Are you trying to argue that every song by the Cars is kind of about cars?
It's got cars right in the name of the band.
It's true.
You ever hear the song Drive?
I've seen the movie that
the
it was
Cars?
based on.
Well, you didn't.
Uh,
It's based on a real cool movie called Drive, starring the boy, the handsome boy everybody loves.
The handsome boy everybody loves.
And Albert Brooks.
I haven't seen Cars, the movie.
Tom, they made 3 of them. You don't have time for that shit.
They made 3 of those things?
Yeah, and a spinoff called Planes, and maybe a Planes 2.
Wow. How am I supposed to keep up with all that?
I don't know. They're for children.
Yeah. Do you remember what you were going to say or no?
I had nothing to say. I was going to make a joke based on what you said, but I hadn't heard what you said.
All right. So we talked about OK Computer. Then after that, a few years later, they followed it up with a double whammy. Kid A and Amnesiac. How far after was Amnesiac from Kid A?
I would say like 9 months or so.
Like a baby?
Yeah. Kid A was...
I don't think it was that far. I don't think it was that long, rather. They were the same sessions.
Right.
And that was... I remember that being really cool. That was the first time I had experienced a band I like having like, hey, guess what? That remember how you were anticipating that new album for so long and it took so long to get here? Well, guess what? The new album's going to be out way quicker than the time that last one took because we already made it.
Kid A was released October 2nd in the year 2000. That's what you have to say when it's 2000. Amnesiac was released June 4th, 2001. November, December.
8 months.
Yeah. So it wasn't 9
no,
months.
it's actually, wait, June what?
June 4th.
Yeah, 8 months.
Okay. So, yeah, wow, Tom.
Just saying is all. And Amnesiac came in a book, I remember. Or at least the version I got came in a book.
I spent so much money on Radiohead Special Edition.
Yeah, they were the first like band that was like fleecing us.
Yeah. They were like, let's not even wait until they're
till
like
they have like
boomer
unbelievable
age.
amount of disposable money. Let's fucking pump them for all they're worth now.
I think they were the first ones to realize like, oh, these millennials will never have money. So like, let's just get all their disposable income at every stage of their life. We can't just wait till they turn like 50.
Right. Although then they turned that on its head within Rainbows, where they said, you know what, we've taken enough. You tell us how much.
Yeah. Pay what you will.
Pay what you want, not pay what you will.
Pay whatever you will.
Yeah.
Pay whatever. No. Write us into your will.
Oh.
That's what they meant by that.
That's how they've got
pay
so
with
rich.
your will.
But that
Don't pay us now.
Right.
But give us everything when you croak.
Now I remember at the time that was a huge thing. Well, they announced the album.
That'd be a good thing for like.
Put us in your will?
Yeah, like like AMC or something.
Uh-huh.
Where they're like their competitor to Movie Pass.
Yeah.
It's like
A-list
AMC,
or something.
It's like, $15 a month and you can go see, or it's $20 a month.
You
and
can see a few movies.
How about they're like, hey, do it for free, but when you die, you have to will us all of your money and possessions.
You're explaining a reverse mortgage. You're saying that the movie theater should get in on reverse mortgages to people.
No, just all your assets.
And it's so even more, not just your house, everything you own, and we'll let you see a few movies a month for free.
It's unlimited.
Oh, okay.
Up to one a day. Up to 5 a month.
Hardly seems worth it. Even if it's a
what if you lived 100 more years, Tom?
Well, I'm not going to live 100 more years.
Well, not you. You don't take care of yourself.
Well, I don't. Most people.
12 hours of calisthenics every other day, Tom.
Anyway, when In Rainbows was announced, it was another like, hey, we got a new album. It's coming out like next week, and the pay what you want thing, and everybody was like, this is going to shake up everything, and like it kind of did, it kind of didn't. I mean, it certainly got people used to the idea that if you want music, you don't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
That's what people left with that. They were like, this is great. It's free? Okay. Yeah, I want that for everything.
Did you pay for that album at all?
I did. I forget how much I did. No, I paid for it.
I think you proudly said, "Fuck those guys. They're so rich. What do they need my money
Yeah,
for?"
that sounds like something I would have thought.
Yeah. The thing with that is they put an album up on the internet in 2007 when this was like novel.
Yeah.
A friend of the show, Jeff Rosenstock, had been doing it for a while, the pay what you want thing. But everybody was like, oh, this is a sea change. It's like, yeah, when one of the biggest bands in the world does it,
right?
Like, they were like, oh, this is the new model for the music industry.
No.
Every band can do this. And look how much money Radiohead made from it. It's like, yeah, because they had labels doing cool Beavis and Butthead advertisements for 15 years before this happened.
Yeah, they had already worked up such a fan base.
Yeah.
And, a band like them, too, it's like, they're getting such a small percentage, but they have such diehard fans that they stand to make more. I think they said on average people paid $3 for that album. They've not made $3 per album on anything else they've released.
Yeah.
People kind of point to that like, oh, look, it failed. And it's like, no, I think Radiohead were probably real happy with how much money they made off that album.
I don't think Radiohead even cared, man. They were too busy being...
moping.
Now they don't mope anymore.
No.
Now they're just
they're good boys now. They seem like they've kind of like gotten over themselves a little bit. I don't think they even like had to get over themselves. I think they just kind of realized, oh yeah, it's like put on a show for the press anymore about and like we don't have to do interviews.
I disagree with your
We don't
assessment.
have to do interviews we don't want to anymore.
Yeah, I think they were. I don't think they were putting on a show. I think they really hated touring.
Well, that's why I kind of corrected myself.
I don't think they were like faking it in that documentary, Meeting People Is Easy, where it's like they were just like upset and depressed all the time. It's like, why would you pretend to do that?
Well, yeah, I was gonna say it wasn't so much pretending that it was. After all that stuff, they kind of realized, oh, we have more money than we could ever spend. We don't have to do press tours and shit like that if we don't want to anymore.
And then they released The King of Limbs, and they were like, we don't even have to make good albums anymore.
Right, we could just
and people still
put
love
out whatever.
us.
Yeah.
We'll get together and make some garbage. I look, to each his own. I actually listened to The King of Limbs last year. Did you see when's the last time you saw them?
I have only
August
seen them
29th,
yeah
2001?
It's only that one time I've seen
really
them. Yeah, that's it.
I
was supposed to see them at that concert that got canceled.
Remember Field Day Fest on Long Island.
Yeah,
there was a big festival before festivals were everywhere.
Right.
Got canceled. Tom, I've seen them probably over 10 times.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen them a whole bunch.
Right, you're a real Radiohead head.
I saw them when Kid A came out.
Why didn't you let me see them one of those times instead of you?
I offered you tickets every time.
Not every time.
No, one time I slept out. You want to know the sentence that I'm proudest of, but also makes me sound like the oldest fuck in the world?
Sure.
One time in college, I slept out on the street overnight outside of Tower Records so I could buy tickets to the Radiohead concert when they went on sale in the morning.
From Ticketmaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does make you sound old as fuck.
Yeah. Only the first two people in line got tickets. They were playing the Roseland Ballroom right when Kid A came out. It was way too small. They should have been selling out the Garden. Why
didn't you buy tickets on your phone?
You mean I didn't even have a cell phone at the time.
Wow.
Yeah, not even a Nokia, which is what shitheads had back in the old times.
What does that even mean?
What?
All right. Do you have anything else to say about Radiohead?
Like Radiohead. I thought their last album was really good.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry that I had in my possession because a friend forced those illegal bootlegs on me today. They're gone now, and I'm going to buy the $300 box set as penance.
All right, let's solve a problem.
Do you have something you want to say about Radiohead? Maybe apologize for calling them all mopey, the most cliche thing that everybody says about them. Hey, Tom. Welcome to Tim and Tom Solve Your Problems.
Why are you dragging this out? Just
what?
You're Tim, I'm Tom. We're going to solve a problem. If you have a problem you'd like us to solve, you can email us, thecompleteguideeverything@gmail.com.
You can email us at thecompleteguideeverything@gmail.com.
What did I say?
You mumbled your way through it.
All one word.
One word. No spaces in there. Tom, this comes from a lady.
Okay.
This problem. She doesn't ask us to not use her name.
Janelle.
Dear Tim and Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Her name's not really Janelle.
Yeah, I know. That's why I suggested it.
I just listened to last week's episode. Congratulations. And realized
Did she say congratulations?
that you two are uniquely qualified to solve my problem. Like Tim, I am the owner of a 2004 Toyota Corolla.
Okay.
Cool. But I spent...
Yours is a 2004?
Hell yeah.
Oh, okay.
We drive the same car. Not the same actual car, the same make
You
and
don't
model.
share a car.
Yeah. But I spent the last 2 weeks driving my parents' Kia Soul while they were out of town, and I was most impressed with its modern amenities. My car has manual everything. Windows, locks, seats, and the antenna just fell off. Do you think it's a manual transmission?
If she said manual everything, it's not a manual transmission, then you can't say it's a manual everything.
But she said Emmanuel everything. Emmanuel
I assume
Lewis.
so.
Windows.
She had Emmanuel Lewis in there? Emmanuel Lewis?
Yeah, every Emmanuel Lewis.
Did she have to put her feet through the floorboards like the Flintstones to make it go?
What do you mean? Because it's old?
This is manual.
Oh, I see. It has
manual engine.
It has some body damage, like you, Tom.
That's supposed to be.
Your face is ugly. Some of it my fault, some of it not. Frankly, it's starting to get a little embarrassing. The Kia has all kinds of cool stuff, like a backup camera, but my favorite thing was that the car would automatically start playing my podcasts. In my car, I have to start the podcast and then put my phone into the driver's side door armrest, which acts as a little bit of an amplifier. That's depressing.
Yeah.
So here's my problem. Should I get a new car? I'm hesitant because I've always said that I would drive the Toyota until it was on fire on the side of the road. But I paid $2,000 for it 6 years ago, so I've gotten my money's worth. I don't drive very much, only about 3,000 miles per year. A new car really isn't a necessity. Is it okay to buy a new car so that I can more easily listen to podcasts on my 7-minute commute? Thanks, and I love the show, Janelle.
She has a 7-minute commute? Well, I guess that makes sense if she only drives 3,000 miles a year.
So, first of all, I'd like to point out, I have a manual transmission. I have manual... I
have a manual...
No, I have automatic transmission. I have automatic windows and locks.
So you had the upgrade package on your 2004.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I paid $5,000 for mine.
Yeah,
so.
That's where the money went.
Yeah. The seats are manual, but like, who cares?
Yeah.
Hey,
you know what?
How much are you moving around your seats?
Yeah, I don't like whenever I get in a car with manual seats because they always take it's like I'm like, nah. If you just had the bar, I could just smash it back into somebody's knees.
Back into somebody's knees. Tom, do you have a car?
I do have a.
What do you drive?
Are you setting me up? You know I have a car. Tim, you know I have a Kia Soul.
Wow. So what this woman is asking, is she a Tim or is she a Tom? And now she's a Tim, but I think she aspires to be a Tom.
Well, I think that probably sums up a lot of our listeners.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Tims that aspire to be Toms. But then some
Tom,
of them,
have
already made it.
Does your Kia Soul have a backup camera?
No, I tried to put a backup camera in the car, and I fucked up everything.
You were bragging about how you went and bought a backup camera system.
Yeah, and then I bought a new Android radio, console thing.
A paranoid Android?
It made me I electrocuted myself trying to put it in there.
Yeah, and didn't you like screw up all the lighting and electric in your car?
No, that I didn't do. Excuse me, a bad job of. But the damn radio was just like so slow to do things, and I missed having like just actual buttons, so I wouldn't have to like look and be like, all right, let me tap that. It's like, no, I want like a knob so I can just turn the volume. So I took it out and put the factory one back in.
So did you return it?
I didn't, because I didn't delete my Google account from it before I took it out of the car, and now I don't know. I have to hook it up to like a car battery to get it to turn back on again.
How much did it cost?
It wasn't that much, which I think was why it really sucked.
How much did it cost?
Maybe like $130 or something.
That's not bad.
Yeah. I changed my password. I should just sell it.
Do you think Janelle should get a new car? She drives 3,000 miles a year.
Yeah.
Which per day is like what? 1,000?
It's 10 miles a day if she drives 300 days a year, which she probably doesn't.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, to get a new car just so it plays podcasts automatically.
I got news for you, Janelle.
Yeah.
When I bought my 2004 Toyota Corolla, it did not have a good radio. Guess what? You go to Best Buy.
Yeah.
You have the Geek Squad get in there.
Mm-hmm.
A couple $100. You got a Bluetooth situation.
Yeah.
It'll play automatically when you go in there. Unless it seems like your car might not have speakers in it.
Yeah.
If you have to buy speakers, that might be
it's gonna add to the price.
Yeah. Look, if you have speakers, I say just get the normal, just get a normal newish. Go on the wire cutter.
Yeah,
that's what I did. Buy the normal thing. It was like $200. They'll install it for you. Don't have Tom install it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't try and install it yourself. That's you're asking for trouble.
But Tom, one time I did get into a fender bender.
Car accident. You were gonna say. And I've written 13 songs about it.
Yeah, I almost got whiplash, Tom. And they gave me some car.
Yeah.
And then and I was driving around. I felt like cock of the walk in this thing. It was like, oh, a newish car. Mm-hmm. And then whenever I go out of town and I rent a car,
yeah,
like, man.
Oh yeah, you get spoiled when you go in new cars.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I don't have to drive a 15-year-old car. But guess what? It's cheap and you don't have to make car payments. Yeah. You don't have to pay a lot of money for something. If you never drive anyway, hey, spend that money on Skinny Girl margaritas, right?
Or anything else you want.
That's what millennials drink, Skinny Girl margaritas.
She could also just get like a Bluetooth speaker and just glue that to your dashboard.
No, don't do that. That's depressing.
Well, that's cheap. You can get one. You can get a decent one of those for like $20.
No, if you do that, I'm going to ask you to stop listening to our podcast.
My car.
You're not going to listen to me through some Bluetooth speaker that's taped to the dashboard of your car.
My car has Bluetooth, but it takes a few seconds for it to, turn on and connect.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
My stereo also has a USB in. It's nice.
Mine does too, but it says iPod, and when I plug a phone in, it's like, well, this isn't an iPod.
Man.
I'm like, it's the iPod Sun. Just play it.
I'd say it's the iPod's freaking God.
All right. If you have a problem you'd like us to solve, you can email us at completeguideeverything@gmail.com. If you like the show, you can check out more at tcgt.com. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/guide. You can follow us on Twitter at Complete Guide. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Tom Reynolds.
You can follow me at your pal Tim. Tom, you got mad at me.
Yeah, I've had enough. You can support the show by supporting our sponsors.
Is Prime Day coming up? I got an email about Prime Day.
Maybe, and I'll tell you a great place to look at Prime Day, tcgt.com/Amazon, where you can do your Amazon shopping, which you're doing anyway. And you give us a little bit, a little taste of what you're buying without it costing you a goddamn. You're taking the money out of Jeff Bezos' mouth when you do that.
Yeah.
And putting it in ours. stuffing money in our mouths.
Yeah.
And you know what? We'll allow it because we want money.
I eat money.
And you can check out our Patreon at tcgt.com/pledge or patreon.com/complete guide. Hey, two great tastes, same place they go to, where you can get our weekly other podcast called Books the Podcast. Tim, what are we starting this week? A new book.
Yeah, new book, Brave New World.
Brave new book is more like it.
Brave New Man, me, for reading it.
Yeah. We'll be reading that over the next few weeks, or Tim will. He'll be telling me about it, and then I'll watch the movie at the end. We'll see how they compare.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/complete guide. You get all the back episodes when you sign up for that too. So no time like the present.
Yeah. You also get 100 episodes of amazing facts.
Yeah. And all the Radiohead OK Computer sessions.
We've uploaded them to our Patreon.
It's fine. Ed O'Brien told me I could.
Yeah, he seemed to not really care that.
Yeah, I don't think he understood what it meant.
It'd be weird to be in a band with your brother for that long, right? My brother's great.
Yeah, I mean, me and you both have brothers, and we both like our brothers and get along with our brothers, but I think we're both similar in that we get weirded out with people by people that like have businesses with their brothers and like...
Yeah, those Property Brothers.
I mean, the Property Brothers, that's a whole other fucking story.
Man, imagine the Property Brothers were
in Radiohead?
In Radiohead instead of
the Greenwoods?
Colin and Johnny Greenwood.
Yeah.
The Radiohead probably would not be as good of a band.
Aren't they? One of them's a musician, one of the Property Brothers.
Yeah, but can he go like this? Boo-doo, boo-doo, boo.
It would also be confusing because the Property Brothers kind of look like Ed O'Brien, and then there would be like three incredibly similar looking guys.
Yeah, they look kind of... Yeah.
From a distance, from on stage, you'd be like, who's who?
Yeah.
Maybe it would make it easier because you'd be like, no, I can tell those two guys look exactly the same. So it calls out more that guy looks a little different.
Right. Tom, what's the best Radiohead song?
I think this is a little bit of a dark horse pick. I think my favorite Radiohead song might be Knives Out.
Wow.
Yeah. On Amnesiac.
That's it's wrong.
What's your favorite Radiohead song?
Smells Like Teen Spirit.
All right, we'll see you next week.
That was a HeadGum podcast.